So you're sitting in a room, not very sure where or why, but you love what you're feeling. You're almost stuck in time, but not really. Um, you could feel your eyes opening from the darkness of conformity, and your mind starting to think unconditionally. You could feel your soul exiting the prison that it's been enslaved to for so long. You could feel the love, the freedom, the truth, the negativity beginning to leave and fade into the end of existence. And it's beautiful. Um, the counterculture is considered dead nowadays, but its ideals, beliefs still exist today. I would like to inform you on the origination and depths of these truths. My name is Joseph. I'll be talking about this subject for a couple reasons. One, I've always been interested in the counterculture and always found beauty in transcendentalism. To fully inform you on the counterculture, I'll focus on three major factors from the freedom. Um, One, I'll tell you the cause for the rise of the hippies and its ideals. Two, I'll go into the art, music, drugs, practices as a culture. And three, I'll inform you on hate masquerading its importance to the hippies. The hippies were a direct outburst of the suppressive society of the 1950s. The hippies began wearing their hair long, their clothes short. They dressed in a way that showed their moral values. They were against traditional society. Um, don't do what others tell you, was what they were trying to say through their lifestyle. Young people simply dropped out and separated themselves from mainstream culture through their appearance and lifestyle. Attitudes towards sexuality appeared to be loosened. Women began openly protesting traditional roles of housewives, mothers, society. Um, they started contemporary feminism in 1963 through the publication of Betty Friedan's um, The Feminine Mystic, which argued that women should be allowed to show their own identity and not only traditional housewife norms. It wasn't until John began his massive bombing on North Vietnam where until where words began coming about such as counterculture, establishment, nonviolence, free love, Kent State, Woodstock. Those were all added to the vocabulary in America after that bombing. It was the beginning of the hippie generation, sexual revolution, drug culture. Um, as Jim Morrison said, each generation wants new symbols, new people, new names. They want to divorce themselves from their predecessors. Um, yeah. Now that I've informed you on the counterculture, how it started, I'll discuss the art, music, and practices, drugs that came out of counterculture. Um, Many musical artists influenced the youth of the 1960s through their music, such as the Beach Boys, the Beatles, the Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, James Joplin, all those goodies. LSD was virtually unknown to American society in the early 60s, and it was still legal, in which it became illegal in 1966 because of gain recognition, acid gurus such as Timothy Leary, and virtually overnight, marijuana and LSD use became common in the United States. And a lot of people try to justify this phenomenon by either comparing drugs to Native American ceremonies with mescaline, peyote, and put marijuana use in the same category for medicinal purposes for reasons like that. Aldous Huxley wrote The Door of Perception, trying to explain his mescaline trip in Mexico. Um, the Drug Enforcement Administration reports that the strength of LSD samples currently obtained from illicit sources today range from 20 to 80 micrograms per unit. This is a lot lower. In the 1960s and early 70s, those dosages ranged from 100 to 200 micrograms per hit. This rate of current LSD used in 96. For the age of 18 and 25 was 0.9 and 0.8 for 12 to 17 years old in 96. Many hippies found peace and harmony through tripping acid and listening to psychedelic music. The counterculture believed that they could save the world from the chemicals they hit. And now that I've discussed their practices and drugs and art, I'll talk about the importance of hate and Asbury for the counterculture. Most people say that the movement started on Haight and Ashbury. Others will disagree. It did become well known in the 1960s as the home for the hippies because they would go and store their drugs there, and it was where a lot of musical artists came and flocked, such as John Lennon, and a lot of people wanted to experience the life like he lived there. A lot of spiritual groups, just a big revolutionary movement. It was a hotbed for creativity. The hippies from all over flocked in magic buses, the uninvited, I guess you can call them, just to feel the vibe. From 1964 to 1968, there swelled a gigantic wave of cultural and political change that swept San Francisco, the United States, and then the whole world. By the end, 2 years before Woodstock and Altamont, overcrowding and the negative reaction of police and in San Francisco, city government combined to make living miserable in Ashbury. Today we went over some great perspectives for the counterculture. I talked about the rise of hippies, the beginning of the culture. I discussed their art, music, drugs, practices, and I talked about the importance of Haight and Ashbury. So I guess what I'm trying to say is next time you're in a room killing your soul,